The Turkish lira rebounded on Thursday, a day after President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called an emergency meeting with his top economic advisors to discuss the weakening currency and economy. The lira traded at around 4.24 against the dollar after touching a record low of 4.37 on Wednesday. It's lost more than 11% since January, making it the worst performing emerging market currency so far this year. Following Wednesday's meeting, President Erdogan said measures will be taken to reduce interest and exchange rate pressures. He also reiterated that Turkey would continue with its growth-focused policies and would not compromise financial discipline. Erdogan's economic team advised financial institutions to make more funding available to the real estate sector. Several Turkish banks responded by lowering their mortgage lending rates, including the country's largest lender, Lira, which dropped its rate to 0.98% from 1.23%. Joining me in the studio is TRT World's Turkey analyst, Yusuf. Erim. Yusuf, great to have you on the show. Let's start with the lira. It's, as we said, been weakening, of course, not counting today's rally. But is this also to do with the dollar's strength globally?
Well, there's actually many factors. Internationally, you have a trade war, possible trade war heating up between the U.S. and China. You have Trump, who just decertified the Iran deal. Now, the markets need time to digest what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. And during times of uncertainty, emerging market sentiment weakens. And when this sentiment weakens, investors have a tendency to run away to more hard currencies like the dollar, the euro.
The flight to safety, exactly, as it's known as. Ziraat Bank, other commercial banks have started lowering their mortgage rates. How is this expected to help the economy?
Well, the construction sector is like the locomotive of the Turkish economy. It's very, very important for not just employment, it also feeds off many other complementary sectors as well. Now, there's a huge unsold housing stock in Turkey at the moment. And by lowering mortgage rates, what the economic chiefs and the banks are hoping, they can generate interest in buying these houses, liquidating this stock, and they're hoping that it could trickle down into other sectors as well.
Ah, that is interesting. So that they're trying to get rid of that overhang of property that we've had for quite some time. Let's talk about this statement from the government, where they say that measures will be taken to reduce interest and exchange rate pressures. Specifically, what are they talking about there?
Well, they're specifically talking about the foreign exchange rate right now. I think that's the number one agenda for the Central Bank of Turkey. It's number one on the agenda for President Erdogan and his economic chiefs, because it's election time right now. The citizens of Turkey aren't happy with the dollar. They're nervous, and that's going to be top priority. The interest rates will be dealt with, I believe, after elections. There's a very important central bank meeting coming up on the 7th of June. Now, the market's slowly pricing in about a 2-point increase, despite comments from the government that they're going to hold the rates lower. The market's expecting a 2% increase. I believe a 2% increase is on the way, because they need to calm the anxiety of investors, and they need to stop the fire with the U.S. dollar against the Turkish lira.
Yeah, they're fighting things on several fronts, aren't they? What else is the government going to do to stimulate the economy, do we think?
Well, the central bank has a lot of tools in their hands that they can use to stimulate the economy. The government's announced a huge package where tax amnesty package. They've announced a package for retirees, veterans, increasing their revenue. They're hoping that by putting money back in their pocket, this money will in turn go into the economy and stimulate it as well.
Okay, fantastic. Yusuf, Erim, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.